Have you ever seen a story that builds an entire kingdom, a whole history of philosophy, all in less than a minute? It's pretty amazing, right? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to break down this simple animation about an ant colony and show you the powerful narrative tricks it's using. And the craziest part? It's all hidden in just a few lines of dialogue. So we're dropped right into the middle of this royal ceremony. I mean, listen to that. These aren't just any ants, right? The phrase loyal subjects tells you everything. Instantly, we know there's a structured society. There's a queen, there's a court, there's a clear sense of order. The whole world is basically built in just one sentence. Wow. So that's the big question, isn't it? How in the world does this little story pull off so much, so fast? Let's actually break down the narrative step by step and see how these simple ants manage to tell a story that's, well, as old as civilization itself. Every great story has to start somewhere, right? It starts by showing us the world as it is, the ordinary world before all the chaos begins. And for our ant colony, that world is all about peace, duty, and order. And it's all laid out for us in that very first conversation. I mean, just look at how efficient this language is. Words like duty and service, they're not just words, are they? They're the pillars of this entire society's ideology. It's all about the collective good. So in just a few short lines, we get the whole social structure. It's stable, it's unified, and, at least for now, it's perfect. But, a perfect world is never the whole story, is it? And what's really interesting here is that the first problem doesn't come from some big, bad outside enemy. Nope. The first crack in this perfect little kingdom, it comes from the inside. And wow, talk about a jarring shift in tone. You hear words like weaklings, mine, crushed. I mean, that is the polar opposite of duty and service. This isn't just some bully picking a fight. Oh no, this is a full-on ideological attack on the colony's entire way of life. And here it is, the whole conflict boiled down to this simple, super powerful contrast. For the colony versus their mine. It's the classic struggle, right? The collective versus the individual. This internal rot, this is the very first real test of their entire society. But here's where things get interesting. A smart leader doesn't just see this as a problem to be squashed. No, they see it as a symptom, a sign of a bigger weakness in the colony. So this internal conflict, it becomes a catalyst. It becomes the reason to prepare, to strengthen the walls, and to unify against whatever might be coming next. So the response is this super clear 3-step plan for survival. But check out the progression here, because it's really cool. It goes from the individual, grow stronger, to the physical, build walls, and then finally to the ideological, unite with strength. See? They're not just building a fortress of dirt. They're forging a whole new, much more resilient identity. And this line right here, this becomes their new rallying cry. It's the perfect, direct answer to that selfish ant's challenge from before. The colony has basically drawn a line in the sand. They've declared that their survival hinges not on what one ant wants, but on the power of all of them together. And that new philosophy, well, it's about to be put to the ultimate test. Turns out that internal conflict was just the warm-up act. Now comes the main event, the real ordeal that all their preparation was for. Yep, the big external threat is finally here. And just like that, invasion. The threat is real. It's here. That one single word captures all the panic, all the chaos, as the enemy shows up right at their newly built walls. And now, the enemy has a name, the Red Ants. This isn't just an announcement, it's a desperate call to arms. Everything the colony has built, everything they've learned about unity, it's all on the line right now. This is the moment they find out if their new philosophy actually means anything. And then, it's over. Just as fast as the invasion began, it ends in victory. Their preparation, their walls, and you guessed it, their unity, it all held strong. That philosophy they forged because of that one selfish ant, well, it just proved itself on the battlefield. But, hold on, the story doesn't just end with the battle. The final act is all about the transformation. It's about who these ants have become because of everything they went through. They're not just survivors anymore, they're a kingdom reborn. Think about it, the internal fighting is gone. The external threat has been defeated, so what's left? 1. a single unified colony. They have literally been through the fire and have been forged into something totally new. And these last lines are so peaceful, almost poetic. The victory isn't really about winning a war. You see, it's about achieving that true, hard-won unity. And the story ends at sunset, which is just that classic symbol for peace, for the end of a long, hard struggle. They've earned their rest. So what does this tiny little epic story really tell us? Well, it leaves us with this huge question, one that echoes through all of human history, really. Think about it. The ants only found their true identity and their real strength when they had something to fight against. And that brings us to the ultimate question. Is having a common enemy the most powerful unifier of all?